Hey guys, Drifter here. I've been really busy lately doing a lot of what we would call adult stuff. I've had some legal issues, some health issues, buying, investing, trading, doing all sorts of stuff like that, and it's been really hard for me, really taxing, time consuming, and I just thought that it was supposed to be easier than this, or maybe that I was better at it, and I realized that nobody ever taught me how to do these things. These basic adult things are not part of the high school curriculum, and I went to a private academy where education was valued very highly, where I learned a lot, where I had to work very hard, and it was the basis for me getting into college and the way I think and getting an engineering degree. But I also missed out on a lot of important things. There are a ton of important things that just aren't taught in high school. I missed out on a ton. You probably missed out on a ton too if you're out of high school, or if you're currently in high school right now, you're still missing them, and I'm talking about the United States specifically. I was never taught how to pay my taxes in high school. This is literally never covered in any high school ever, and especially in the gaming scene, I see so many teenagers get really rich and be like, wait, what? Why do I owe the government $20,000? I don't understand this. Don't they take it out automatically? It's like, it's never taught in any high school, and you're just supposed to have to figure it out on your own. Like, don't worry, they'll figure out how to pay taxes regardless of what type of income they have. And you can get like 100 different kinds of income. Don't even get me started on that. They don't teach you anything about deductions, write-offs, anything like that, what tax bracket you're in, if you can even do your own taxes, or if it's complicated enough to get an accountant. No answers. They'll tell you, well, the Tyrannosaurus is from the Triassic period, and it used to be thought to be a predator, but now it may be a scavenger. Well, that's great, but you really need to teach me how to do my taxes, because I have to do this every single year, and I can go to jail for not paying my taxes, or more realistically, get massive fines from the IRS that I will never ever pay off, but we're not taught how. Speaking of jail, if I didn't pay my taxes, because I was never taught how to in high school, I don't know my basic legal rights. I had to learn this on my own. I don't know what your high school was like. Yeah, we got taught our basic constitutional rights, the Constitution, the amendments, that kind of things, but I knew nothing about state laws or local laws or anything about criminal law, property rights, contract law. I didn't get taught about the right to an attorney. I mean, I hear them read it out on cop shows, but I don't know really what it means or how I get an attorney, or the privileges with my lawyer. Or the next one, the right to remain silent. You see this all the time. Police interrogate people, and they lie to these people. Idiots tell them you have to tell us, or if you do tell us, I'll make a deal with you and I'll help you. And you're never taught that cops can legally lie to you, which, by the way, yes, they can. A police officer can legally lie to you and tell you anything, and if I'm not mistaken, they can't offer you deals. Only district attorneys can. You don't even know what warrants probable cause, how to get a warrant, and when and when not to identify yourself. I know people that get in trouble all the time because they don't know the proper protocol to identifying yourself to a police officer, and we're pretty much only told that police are our friends. This makes sense in high school. You want to teach teenagers to respect authority and all that kind of things, and most of the time, like 99% of the time, cops are your friends. The vast majority of my interactions with police officers have been positive, but that's not the case everywhere in the world, or even in the US, and sometimes things get mixed up. They can get the wrong guy, things can get crazy, and you just don't even know what to do. If you get arrested for something random, you just panic. You don't even know your legal rights. And I ask, a teacher professor about this. Why is this not on our curriculum? And they'll be like, I don't know, chlorophyll is what captures light in leaves. Let's talk about plant biology. No, let's not talk about plant biology. How about, how do I balance a budget? Now, thankfully, I had very frugal parents and grandparents that grew up in the Depression, so I got taught this at home, but this is taught in some schools. They used to have like its own class, but they kind of rolled it into home economics. Fun story, I have a friend of mine used to play football. He's primarily the football coach, but they offered to let him teach any class, and he didn't want to teach any class on the curriculum. He decided to create a new class where the first semester is economics and the second one is budgeting and personal finance, because he felt that it was such a shame that kids did not learn this, that he wanted to create this class in his school so that his students would know how to balance a budget and handle their finances and stuff like that, which we'll talk about later. So it's taught in a few schools, but not very many. It's an idea so crazy that they don't teach kids about basic savings, that there are large conspiracies about why this has been phased out. Like, oh, the government, big business, they want to keep people dumb, they want to keep them running up credit cards, they want to keep them spending because they're just like money machines, they don't value the person. And you'd say, okay, well, maybe the parents should teach this. Well, there are tons of parents that can't manage a budget. How do you expect them to teach it to their kids? If you've ever seen an adult that's irresponsible with money, you just have to bear in mind that they also have kids, and their kids are learning these things. And this isn't even a difficult thing to teach, but it was never taught in school. If I want to know about math, it'd be like, let's use trigonometry to calculate the area of this plot of land. And I'm like, how about instead of calculating the area of a theoretical plot of land, how about you teach me how do I buy a house? What are the qualifications? How complicated are mortgages? What does my credit need to be like? Where do I start? How do realtors play into this? How much does it cost in the long run? What is equity? How do I build it up? What is an escrow? All these kind of things I had to figure out, even though almost every adult in their lifetime will own a piece of property, even if it's like an apartment or a condo or a car does a similar thing, house equity value, all that kind of stuff, but you're not taught anything about it. If you want to talk about that kind of stuff, long run math, you could be like, okay, well, how does savings and interest work? And then be like, oh, let me show you all about exponents, which are great and they're fantastic for learning about that, but all you're going to be doing is finding x and not really learning anything about it. I wish at 16 somebody would have taught me the value of saving early for retirement. My god, I could all be almost done by now, but that's a totally different thing. Or just how much better it is to start early than late, or how to invest, when to invest, how stocks work, how bonds work, how savings account, very basic investment strategies. Not really super complicated stuff, but just little things that would have been very nice, that would have helped me get on my feet as an adult. And this is a list that can go on forever and ever and ever. I could probably talk about this for a week, but it just seemed crazy for me that in a free society where we're supposed to get basically, high school is not an end-all be-all. It can't teach you every single thing about being an adult or everything in the world. And you can't be perfectly prepared for anything, but this is the basic, you know, reasonable adult starter kit. Once you finish this, it's like, okay, this person is qualified to handle their life, they've got the education they need, and I don't find that to be true. I find it to be a little bit too abstract and missing some very, very important these everyday things in an adult life that I have to do. And I don't know, I was just thinking about it in the shower the other day, and it just seemed silly. Just kind of a rant. I don't have a point to this one. I can't get you to rally behind me or a political party or a campaign or a cause, but it's just something to think about. Something, if you have kids, to think about, or if you are a kid or if you're a young adult going into this world, these are some things that you should really read into online to learn how to do, because you're going to have to learn how to do them on your own because they won't be taught in school. Guys, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.